Hey, what's up, everyone? How's it going, man? I got my little camcorder thing going on again. I'm gonna actually have my son take a picture of it, and we'll put it in there. You'll be able to see it. Alright. We're down in Jamaica. Let's talk about 9/11. We'll talk about 9/11. I'll talk about alcohol a little bit. It's kind of fucked up what's going on out there on the internet and stuff like that, but I get it, you know. But anyway. Yeah, 9/11. I didn't find out about 9/11 with the World Trade Centers until like 9/18, maybe the 19th. Like, 7 days, 8 days later I found out actually. I was down at a casino in Jamaica, the West Indies. And it was early in the morning. I was to borrow someone's jet ski. I had to take care of something. So I got on the jet ski. You know, jet ski, it's like a motorcycle on the water. Pretty cool. Anyway, I'm waiting for this guy to come with the jet ski. And in this gazebo, they have a little TV set. The gazebo is a place they serve drinks. It's got like a little hay roof on it. It's outdoors. And they have a little TV set in the corner. I couldn't hear it because I had it on mute, and they were playing the reggae music. So, I'm watching it. And one of the ladies that's cleaning up, getting the place prepared for the day, she is kind of close to me. So I say, "Oh, what the hell's that?" You know, because at this point, when I first looked up at it and I saw the plane going into the building, I thought it was a movie. Like, I thought it was like a new movie that's being released in America or something, like Die Hard 15, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Bruce Willis is back. Seriously, that's what I fucking thought. You know, some shit like that. But then I realized it was on the screen for a while, and I started seeing the news station, you know, and I'm like, well, you know, if it's a part of a commercial, like, that lady there, that's Kaidi Chung or some shit like that, you know. I'm like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So, the lady's right here wiping. The bartender, the guy, he's in the middle, or bar help or whatever. There's no one there drinking. It's early in the morning. And they turn down the music, turn on the TV so I could hear it. So I'm like, oh, that really happened? So the dude, he comes over to me. I believe it was Bamboo. I believe that's the name of the place I was in at the time. And the guy comes over, he's like, yeah, man, they mash up the place in America, man. Millions of people are dead, man. Millions have mashed the whole damn place up and this. So I'm like, holy shit. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, damn, I better call my mother. My brother, make sure, you know, we brother and my mother's okay, you know. So I walk out there, phones are scarce. You can't just call around and stuff like that. So I go to this place, I walk about 3 or 4 blocks to a place, you give a couple of bucks, they let you use their phone. Like I said, phones aren't really everywhere down there. I mean, if you're on a resort or a hotel or something, yeah, you should have a phone probably in every room or something like that. But not really in the situation I was in and where I was at. But anyway, I walk about 4 or 5 blocks, and I go to this place, I give money, I try to call my mother and my brother, and I hear like a weird sound on the phone. It's not a busy signal or nothing, it's more like a fax machine, like, you know, it's really loud, it irritates half up, you know, hung up. And this went on for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. I tried to contact them, never got through. Then finally, I could hear my mom's voice. Very so likely, I guess the line, you know, the phone lines must have been fucked up. Everyone's probably trying to get in touch with everyone and figure out what the fuck's going on, you know. And I could barely hear my mother, but she's okay. My brother was okay, and the dog was okay. It was actually something smoke had made its way up to that neighborhood, which is, figure what, that's about maybe 60 blocks. Yeah, it's like 3 miles. About 3 miles downtown. The smoke traveled that much to be there to the point where they're telling me this on the phone. I could barely hear it. It actually got cut off, the phone. So I heard from them. They're okay. You know, let me go about my business. So yeah, it was pretty much 9/11. I didn't know know about till like 9/19, something like that. Yeah. Now, getting into alcohol, I get it, man. You know, the dude's a rat, the dude's a snitch. It's all true. The streets, they got their pound of flesh. The dude's dead. Now, you know, I'm sad because I kind of feel like, you know, the guy's dead. I mean, just, okay, a rat, this, that, I get it. But before all that, you know, he was a dude who used to hang out and sneak into the swimming pool with us and shit, you know. He'd be sitting on that bench I always talk about. Like, a lot of people hung out in that park, man. A lot of people hung out with us. Late at night, we'd all sneak into the pool. You know, a lot of people from Harlem. You got to realize, this is a public park with a public swimming pool in it. Now, this swimming pool is outdoors. So it's right there. With a gate, and it's actually got a wall. You can flip right over it. We'd party all fucking night in that place, man. At night, oh, man, I used to have so much fucking fun, man. So much fun, man, in that park and in that pool. And everyone would come down. See, like the Lower East Side, Alphabet City, LES, the Lower East Side, if you guys don't know, there's a couple of pools down there, too, in that area where Manhattan starts to get thin. And you also have one up on 110th Street in Harlem, in Central Park, the end of Harlem. Like the end of Central Park in Harlem, 110th Street. And you have one on like 23rd Street, Asher Levy. I know, I'm not like a pool like freak or nut. I just know about Asher Levy because that's near my job. And at lunchtime I go in there sometimes and do my exercise before all this pandemic. I go in there. A nice little weight room and stuff, so I go in there, I do some deadlifts and shit like that, you know, some benches and stuff. Yeah. So that's the only reason I know the name of it. Not like I'm some gym junkie or park junkie or something. I have some weird knowledge of parks or something in my head. That's the reason I know the names of, you know, I don't want to come off too smart on you guys, you know. But anyway, yeah, so the park we had was actually off the FDR Drive, 77th, 78th Street. If you're on the FDR Drive and you look, you see this big brick castle fucking wall. That's John Jay Park. Right up above that wall, on the uptown side, is the pool. On the downtown side of that wall, it's a bunch of benches and shit. We used to hang out and stuff. Yeah, and you had some chin-up bars, you had some dip bars, and you have the basketball courts, and you have handball courts, and then you have the doggy park. Yeah. So, that area was perfect. People could come down there, you could hop over the fence, and go swimming. No one's going to bother you. Hell, most of the people in them surrounding buildings are in there swimming too. They didn't give a fuck. It wasn't like it is nowadays. Nowadays, you can sneak in the park at night and take a piss. Fucking 100 cops will pull up and grab your ass. Back then, it was different. As long as you weren't too noisy and shit, no one gave a fuck. So we'd be down there. A lot of people from the lower Bronx also, like St. Anne's area, 134th Street, Cypress, around that area. They'd also come down to the park. I remember hanging out with a lot of those guys from up around that part, South Bronx type shit. Yeah. Harlem. All east of Harlem, from Isaacs to Wagner Projects. I mean, Isaacs technically ain't Harlem, but, you know, from Isaacs, people from Isaacs would come in there, Wagner houses, fucking East River houses, all these projects. Come into the park and hang out with us. And it used to be fucking so much fun, man. But I ain't gonna lie, man, we're tough motherfuckers, man. The kids that grew up and sat on that park bench, it's like, we were all criminals, man. We were straight up fucking criminals, man. I'm not gonna candy coat it. We were criminals. I mean, some of us did different shit. Some of, you know, it's what float your boat type shit. But yeah, we were all criminals. Like I was robbing and stealing before I even had hair on my balls, man. We were breaking into people's apartments, breaking into stores and other kinds of establishments, ice cream parlors, all types of crazy shit. We were from a very young age, man. Like I said, before we even had hair on our balls. That's not just me, that's everyone. Stealing bicycles and shit, shoplifting from like day one, man. All the way back. And every single one of them people, about 30 or 40 of us, Now I look back, I was actually trying to figure out how many people is left. And I didn't even want to count too far, because then if you start saying it, you got people that'll pop up and be like, yo, what about me, man? Come on. Well, I don't count, so I don't even want to go down that road. But, yo, I'll tell you, man, a lot of them dudes on that fucking bench, man, they kind of set it off, like, in their criminal careers. Most of these people have really done some pretty wild crimes, man. You know, a lot of shit hit the newspaper, a lot of shit, you know, some real criminals, man. A lot of dudes, man, from that bench, you know. So, yeah, I mean, Alpo is a very nice dude, man. I can never say nothing bad about the dude, man. He's always mad cool, man. I can tell you funny stories, you know. He bought motorcycles off us. We'd steal motorcycles. That's a big thing that a couple of us did, too. Stole motorcycles, me and John. That was one thing that people out there. He also liked the Cherokee limited edition Jeeps. He liked those, 1987 limited edition Jeeps, yeah. Got him a couple of those, too. But, yeah, he's a good dude, man. Good dude, funny dude, you know. Like I said, I don't know nothing about this Richie Porter guy. Never met him. Never even heard of him for all this shit with the news. Same with that AZ guy. And I know dudes from over there. And I mean, the bottom line is, me, myself, Robert Dyer, I've never sold a drug in my life. I mean, okay, all right, let's be real. Maybe a friend of mine might be over my house or something, and I might have some marijuana. They're like, yo, Rob, you think you'd sell me a joint? You know, or something like that, because they don't have any or something. And maybe, yeah, you give me a couple of dollars or something. Something like that might happen, but I've actually never sold a drug in my life. Never me. Never want to get into that shit. Yeah, all the Rockefeller laws and all this crazy shit going on. People like, nah, man. And I knew that. So I stayed away from it, and I'm alive. You know? So it is what it is, man. That game was rough. And this shit happens. But as far as it goes with, and like I said, man, I got love for that dude, man. Alpo was a good dude, man. He used to always come down, like I said, with Redhead Joey, man, little Redhead Joey, little white boy and shit. Everyone knows him, man. Pop the wheelie up, up First Avenue. Winky, another one, heavy set dude, black guy, man. Yeah, he used to always come hang out, man. That motherfuckers used to be roaring, man. Always be hanging out. Good dudes, man. I don't know anything about all that shit that transpired. Like, you find, all I see, like, I don't listen to rap music. It's not appealing to my palate, my ears. I like rock and roll. I mean, as wild as I'll get is maybe a little heavy metal. Right? So, yeah, that's me. I don't know, but from what I'm seeing, it's like, in like the rap community, what you call it. But it seems like they're working them up to like a mythical legend or something like that. And I don't know. It's like a lot of mean stuff is being said and this and that. I don't know nothing about that shit, man. Never sold a drug a day in my life. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me questions about it and stuff like that. I don't know, man. The dude I know, the dude that used to hang out, jump in the park and go swimming with us at night and shit like that, and chilling with us on the benches and with the motorcycles and playing manhunt, even playing tag and shit like that. Yeah, fucking good dude, man. Good dude. Ratting and all that. That came later, of course. Can't condone that shit. I mean, it's not like he's got a podcast and I'm over here rallying for support from him. I mean, if I saw him in the street or something, I'd be like, you know, it's nice knowing you, but over that way or something. I mean, didn't meet him until, like, the last time I saw that dude was like before LoJack came out. Probably around before I got married, maybe a year before I got married, maybe 1988, 1989-ish. Something like that. That's the last time I physically saw that guy. Yeah. And, yeah, it's sad, man. He was a pisser, man. He was a funny fucking dude, man. He was funny, man. He was a good guy, man. Funny as fuck, man. Funny as fuck. Definitely not the way they portray him in that movie, Paid in Full. I actually saw that movie with Joey, TDS. Saw it on 86th Street. He was telling me about it. It was after my divorce and everything. He's like, yo, Rob, let's go. I was like, come on, I don't want to go to that rap movie, man. I like to fucking rock and roll, man. You know, he's like, nah, it ain't about rap music, drug dealers, man. He gives a fuck, you know. He's like, nah, it's about Alpo and shit. You know, it's all right. You know. So I go and I watch it. And, yeah, it's just, I don't know. That is, I don't know. It doesn't look anything like the dude I knew. You I mean, you know, I get an artistic license and it's a movie and shit, but that's all it is. Same with this graffiti shit. You got these people trying to hype shit up for more than it really is. But all said and done, man, he was fucking human, man. He was human, man. He was a funny, good, caring dude, man. That's the way I'm gonna put it. He was a fun, loving, caring dude, man. Yeah, he was a very nice dude, man. Rest in peace, Alpo, man. Peace. Wait. Take my sweatshirt off. It's a little cold in here, you know. It's starting to get cold around here, man. Yeah. These parts. An old man, you know. Anyway, yeah, I was thinking back. I was thinking of the story. John, JJ, and me. We stole this GSXR 1100 motorcycle. We were always stealing motorcycles. If you look back at our past podcasts and shit, man, John passed away. Actually, a motorcycle accident. I stole a motorcycle. But we had this GSXR 1100. Big motorcycle. You know. Alpo was like, yo, you get a GSXR 1100. Give us a beat, you know. We were pages. So we got the bike. Call up Alpo. Pages. Call back. All right, we'll come down to the park. I'm like, all right. So we keep it a couple blocks away from the park. In the daytime, in John Jay Park, you got a swimming pool, you got the police there in case there's some kind of fight or they need some kind of assistance, someone's drowning or something. There's always a cop in the park. So we parked this motorcycle a couple blocks away. Well, now, you know, comes there. It's all right. So John JJ goes, gets the motorcycle, you know, brings it to him. Alpo likes it. All right. Gives us the money for it and shit, right? He hops on the fucking thing, takes off. Around the corner, this is Cherokee Place in front of John Jay Park, 77th Street, 78th Street. Can't go straight. Bang into some buildings, which is known as the catacombs. We nicknamed them the catacombs because we used to play in the basement. They all connect the basements. We play tag or manhunt and shit in the basements. So he has to turn on Cherokee Lane to go up to get to York Alley. So as he makes that turn, he's no longer visual to us. We can't see him. But all of a sudden I hear, bing, bang, like a loud noise, right? I'm like, what the fuck? You know, a few people run over and shit. We can't see him no more. It's almost like a block away at this point. So I'm like, oh shit. And I remember John was like, yo, let's get out of here. He just totaled that motorcycle, you know. We hang out. It's like a minute later, it comes right back around the block. The whole front end of the motorcycle. Not necessarily the front end like the extension, but the whole front fairing smashed to shit. And the fairing is the fiberglass piece that actually encases the headlight. It holds the headlight in there and everything. And also, I believe it cuts the wind. It makes it more aerodynamic for going fast. You know, otherwise they're wobbling, but they got the steering dampers and shit like that. But anyway, whole front of that shit was smashed. I believe that's the whole reason he wanted this GSXR, because it's stolen. You know, you gotta fuck around with it to make it not stolen. I don't know what his plans were, but that's the bike he wanted. So, comes down the block, he's like, no, what the fuck you guys trying to pull this? That way. We're laughing because the whole shit is like, it's not just like a little crack, man. It's like the whole shit, like you actually see the guts of the fucking thing, you know? He's like, yo, what the fuck? Like we're trying to sell him it, but he couldn't even do it with a straight face. Like he was trying to act like, yo, man, like he just noticed this or something. Like he was trying, you know, joking around with us and shit. He was like, yeah, he started laughing. He couldn't hold a straight face, but anyways, like, yo, keep your eye out, man. I really need a fairing, man. You know, it's like the whole thing and shit. I was like, so John goes, all right, man, you know. So as luck be have it, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours later, we actually got the same exact fucking motorcycle. Like, actually identical. I don't even believe, to the best of my knowledge, standing here decades later, I think it was even the same exact color scheme. Perfect. It's just, who we stole it. Just happened to stumble upon it. I remember it was in front of Ray's Pizza. 3rd Avenue, 70-something street like that. Hop on the phone, took it, stole it. So we bebop over, you know. Comes back down. So we're like, yo, listen, just give us back the smashed up one. Here, you take this nice one. He's, oh shit, yo, thanks, man. Yo, this that. Again, he takes off. Like the dude can never just take off like like a normal dude. Like he's always got to do some wild shit, like pull a wheel, do a burnout or whatever the fuck it is, you know. So like, you know, we can't help you after this, you know. He's gone. You know. So now that bike, yeah, the smashed up part. That's the bike that I'm actually talking about a couple episodes back. When I'm talking about the, you know, the Asian community, Chinatown, and you know how I met these guys, like these BTK guys, these Vietnamese fellas. Them, me and John, once again, JJ357. We were scouting around the neighborhoods downtown looking for motorcycles to steal, to sell. And we'll look for anything, man. We're like scavengers, opportunists. So, you know, we're cutting through these streets and shit. Bump into these 2 Asian kids who trying to be Vietnamese. They're climbing around and one's up there trying to steal like these spices and herbs and oils and shit like that from one basement of a Chinese restaurant so they could sell it to another one. Apparently there's some good money in this shit. So we became friends with them. And later on, maybe 5, 7, 8 years later, that's when all that BTK shit started really popping off, you know. At this point, these guys were very young, 16, 17, 18 years old, something like that, you know. Same age as us. Maybe a little younger than us. But now getting back to the bench in John Jay Park. The dudes that were on that bench, they grew up in that neighborhood, and even like I said, the guys that came from here, that not many of these people were actually graffiti writers, if any at all. I mean, I remember, like, I could name a few just off the top of my head, and once again, other guys would be like, yo, what, you don't remember me, man? I used to come by all the time. And, you know, I mean, you know, I'm fucking 53 years old, man. You're talking about way back when I had smoked a lot of weed, took a lot of mushrooms and shit like that in my life. Times went by, you know. I might not remember everything. But just off the top of my head, and as I remember later on, I'll mention them, and I'll actually mention times and this and that. But I remember Vifer would come by. This guy, If DTA, Downtown Art, If, I-F. He passed away at a very young age, actually, in the 80s, I believe, late 80s. Yeah, If DTA. He was good friends with Vifa. Yeah, he used to come around. He actually was good friends with Kid 1, 357. They used to hang out for a while. So I believe on Halloween he got murdered in a subway station or something like that downtown on the Lower East Side, Delancey Street, around that area. He used to hang out around with us a lot. Who else? Shama and Arson. Later on, those guys started coming around a lot. Shama, Arson, Vifer, Cost. Well, Cost, he's kind of always been around. You know, Cost kind of, you know, has been down with us quite a while. You know, so yeah, Cost. All those dudes from Queens, PK, Ripe, Form, Chinese Form, Ross, of course, Ross, PK, I probably said him, KK1, NI, what was it, Lotzi, geez, I can't remember, there's so many of them. And yeah, Nash, OA, you know, Nash, Richie, he's from Brooklyn, Lee 3, come around, who else? Swan 3, TVS, with Sam and, with CM and then Ken. That's what can I think of off the top of my head now. This is just me sitting here smoking a little weed, spitting it, so we're getting all pissed. But yeah, it wasn't, even like amongst us, there really wasn't that many graffiti writers that were, you know, we were more like criminals than a couple of us wrote graffiti. You know, yeah, that's probably the best way to define it. Whereas most of the graffiti writers are graffiti writers that write graffiti, you know. I mean, you might steal a little can of spray paint here and there, but you're not really out there. So, yeah. Alright, yeah. That's about all I can think of. Well, Satan and them from up on Morris Park. No, they were from Mashula Park area. Sathan, he wrote Flip. Flip 3, Bob Collins, Rob Collins, from up around the Bronx area there. A bunch of those dudes from around there, like 205th. Yeah, Irish area there. He sang out a lot of those guys too. They'd come down to the park. Sathan Road, yeah, Flip 3, yeah, that's it. Yeah, a bunch of those dudes. A lot of fucking writers, man. Like this Lower East Side would come up too. I mean, they had their own pool, the dudes from the Lower East Side. Well, the West Side, they really didn't come around, man. We didn't fuck with them like that. As funny as it may sound, but yeah, they kind of stayed over there, you know. I mean, there was a couple of dudes like the time, like the era before us. Because in the park, down low, you'll see like LSD3 tags, TR, a couple other people who wrote that. That shit lasted forever, man. Below the handball courts, there's like a little brick wall near these trees, and it's in a gated area. Yeah, it's an old LSD3. Yeah, there's a couple of people who wrote there in that spot. Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, as far as it goes, the graffiti writers, that's it. And as far as it goes, like not many of us wrote graffiti, at least to the point where like a lot of people in the boroughs would know about it. You got me? Like everyone had a tag and everyone wrote on mailboxes and shit like that. But as far as it goes with putting it down, yeah, not many. I like that the people with me, it was, you know, you had your basic running. Well, actually, that's not true towards the end because PK, KK, all them motherfuckers were putting in mad work. Kaya Sash, he was putting in a lot of work too early on, even. Yeah. Yes, I guess it's not true. I bet you guys know the basic dudes that were hitting the subways, and yeah, like we were kind of like just criminals that wrote graffiti. Yes, that's the way to put it. Not all of us wrote graffiti. We all just hung out. And some of us took up graffiti as a hobby, just like someone might decide to take up ballet, take up DJing or painting or whatever as a hobby or something. Yes, that's the best way to look at it. Alright, people, I hope that answers all your questions. You guys are all asking me about Alpo and stuff. Like I said, I was never in that drug game like that. Hell no, never did that shit. I stole a lot of drugs, like I said, but I never sold drugs. Stole, meaning like, run your shit. Like I took drugs. Once again, not like took drugs. I mean, I took the motherfucker's drugs. I ripped people off. That's what it is. That's the word I'm looking for. I ripped people off. For their drugs a lot, yeah. Stole a lot of marijuana, a lot of cocaine, a lot of crack. Yeah, stole it, yeah, took it. Yeah, I guess that would be the proper way to put it. But as far as it goes with me ever being a drug addict or something like that, that's not true. I mean, you guys, you know, just trying to hit me below the belt when they start up with these websites and stuff. But I've actually never really been addicted to a drug in my life. I've never been a heroin addict. I've never been in any drug rehab program. I've never been convicted of a drug crime. I've never been caught buying or anything like that with drugs at all. I mean, yeah, I like the cocaine, you know. I like to smoke crack, shit like that. But it's forever since I've touched that shit, you know. I've always had, you know, never had a problem with it. I mean, that don't mean that everyone should run out and do this shit, but I mean, I guess you have to stay away from drugs. It's bad to do, you know. Alright, people, I put my foot in my ass here. You know what I'm saying.